So there's no way we're going to know for sure why Revolve stock crashed the way that it did today. Now, you see the negative 15% here, but I mean, if you've been following Revolve since yesterday, you know it was much worse than that before the market rebounded. Now on here, you can see it drop as low as 23%, but I thought I remember seeing it at one point hit 24 or 25% down. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Revolve stock got hammered. And this video is obviously going to be an opinions video. We're going to go over some facts, but this is mostly an opinions video because unless we find a way to ask every single person, every single institution, and every single computer program that sold Revolve stock on earnings yesterday and today, we're never gonna know the full reason. So from here on out, it is just my opinion, but we are going to go over some facts that I hope will back up my opinion somewhat. Now, let's start off with the earnings themselves. The earnings, I'll just give you a spoiler alert. Revolve smashed these earnings out of the park. I read the reports, I read the finances and stuff like that, but yeah, Revolve smashed these earnings out of the water. Or out of the park, whatever. We're talking a 10% revenue beat and a 13.6% EPS beat. Like, they did really, really well. Let's go over the numbers. Net sales are up 50% year-over-year change from last year. Gross profit is up 60% from this time last year. Gross margin went up, I think it's 0.5%. Yeah. Gross margin went up 0.5%. Net income went up 1%. However, I want to show you this right here in regards to net income. So the reason why net income is only at 1% is because for this year, Revolve had there were some additional taxes that Revolve had to pay. We'll leave it like that. If you take a look at the EBITDA, the income before taxes, yeah, they were up considerably. So yes, so as far as I'm concerned, without taxes, they were up more than considerably on the top line, the middle line, and the almost bottom line. Adjusted EBITDA, non-GAAP, 35% increase versus last year. Net cash, 62% increase. Free cash flow, same thing. Active customers, up 38% from last year. Total orders placed, 68% from last year. The average dollar amount of the, average order value, is 13% from last year. Like, this was a really, really strong quarter. I mean, I cannot complain one bit. Now, as far as their guidance, at least in their press release, they didn't give a whole lot of exact numbers or anything like that to go on, and maybe that's playing a role in it. But they did say that April of 2022, they have net sales growing more than 30% over last year. And they're talking about their second quarter ending June to be their largest sales quarter of the year as core customer gears up for a busy travel and event calendar in the warm summer months ahead. So having said all that, why did Revolve stock drop today? Like I said, we don't have any concrete answers, but it's fun to, it's fun to throw on opinions. Well, one of the reasons that, at least that I'm considering, is we're in a bear market, right? We are in a type of market where the slightest bit of weakness, unless you're meta for some reason, the slightest bit of weakness will drop your stock 20%, 30%, even more than that. I mean, we live in a market where I think there were days in which Revolve stock just dropped 10% for no reason. That's the kind of market we are. So right here, we're talking about the CFO alluding to the fact that, hey, growth is not going to last forever. At some point, the growth might contract a little bit, even though that they have really good guidance for the next quarter. And maybe the market pounced on that. We don't know for sure, but this is a piece of evidence that we need to consider. Another reason I think can be found on this page right here. Now, because we're in a market where the slightest bit of weakness will drop your stock 20%, 10%, 30% more, valuations are really beginning to matter. Now, I've made videos on Revolve in the past, and I will be the first to admit Now, just as a Revolve shareholder, I am up 170%. Even right now, even with the downturn, even in my heydays when I was up 400, 500% of the stock, I mean, I made a video saying that I believe the stock was overvalued and I couldn't buy any more stocks because of it. I mean, take a look at March of last year. We're talking a 4 PE of 70. That is, I mean, yeah, Revolve is a growth stock. It's got a lot of success ahead of it long term. That's my, I mean, I have no argument on against that. But I fully admit that the stock was overvalued. And the downturn that the stock has had, heck, the downturn that the stock has had over the past year, heck, the stock is down 57% from its highs. Yeah, I'll be the first to admit that, yeah, the stock was overvalued. The stock was overpriced. And this could mean the stock falling back down to earth. You know, that's the thing with valuations and growth stocks. They don't matter until they do. Another reason that I thought of, now this is very short term, very maybe anecdotal, and this is something I've watched, having been a Revolve shareholder for a few years, is that what typically happens, and I cannot explain why. I can just explain what happens. What typically happens, even when Revolve was on its way up, is after earnings, the stock after strong earnings. Keep in mind, most of Revolve's earnings were pretty good. I would say B and up. The stock would drop like 20% on fantastic earnings. It would drop 20% that day, and then over the next month or so, the stock would inch its way up. Now, in this market, I have no idea whatsoever if that's going to be the case this time. I'm just saying that's a thing that has happened before in previous earnings. And if you've been involved with Revolve for some time, you will agree to that. And the last reason that the stock has dropped, in my opinion, in the words of a YouTube channel that I watch a lot, Keenan Grace, Revolve stock has dropped so you could buy it. Now, I slightly joke, but I mean, valuations are really starting to matter again. The stock is coming back down to earth. And for someone looking to get into Revolve as a growth stock, I mean, the price is looking more and more attractive. Now, this channel does revolve around my portfolio, so I will answer the next question, or the question I think you're asking. Am I gonna buy Revolve stock now, or would I recommend buying Revolve stock now? Now, as far as me, my cost basis for Revolve is $13.68. Even with the major downturn over the past year, and especially over the past day or so, I am still up 170%. So I am not immediately, I don't feel I need to go out and buy the stock right now. Even though I think the stock price is gonna go up once the market straightens out, and you know, over the next months and years. I do think the stock price will go up, will shoot up. But in most of my stock plays, like I have to keep valuation in mind somewhat. I'm not gonna buy Revolve at 170% gains. Now, I did a few calculations while I was at work today. Now, for Revolve to get to a stock to get to a price that I want to buy, I think that at $28, I think I calculated that would be a 4 PE. Everything else remaining the same. At $28, I would be interested. And at $22 or $21, if Revolve dropped that much, yeah, I might be a buyer again. Now, if it doesn't drop that much, that's perfectly fine. I don't care. I have my 48 shares, and I'm doing very well with them. I have no need to buy more shares, but if it does drop to the amounts that I want, 28 being interested and 22 or 21 being buy, yeah, I will start investing probably heavily back into Revolve. Now, for people who didn't buy Revolve when it was $13.68, somewhere around then, well, you can see my cost basis per share when I bought and when I bought more. But for people who didn't do this, I mean, in my opinion, should you buy it? Well, that depends on you. If you are someone who is buying Revolve on a growth basis, now I bought Revolve mainly, yeah, for growth, but it was a value play. $13.68, man. For someone who's buying Revolve as more of a growth play, because I think the stock in his company has a long way and a long path of growth ahead of it. Maybe a 4P of 30 ain't that bad to you. That's, of course, your opinion. Now, if you're someone who has any foot in value whatsoever, yeah, maybe you want to see the price come down some more. And that, of course, is if you did your full research otherwise and you think Revolve as a company is worth investing into. But anyways, take care, have a great day, and eat your vegetables.